welcome students. So let's see a new topic, that is vectors. So basically when we talk about physical quantities, so there are two types of physical quantities. One are scalars and other vectors. Scalar quantities are those quantities which can be represented only with magnitude. For example, temperature. When we have to represent temperature, we can represent only with its degree C or degree F or degree Kelvin, right? Similarly, there are other physical quantities for which when we want to represent them, we need to express their magnitude as well as their direction. So for vectors, we need to represent them in form of magnitude as well as we have to specify a direction for them. For example, force. Force is a physical quantity for which we have to represent its magnitude as well as its direction. For example, let's consider a case. Say I have a body of mass m, right? And say if a force F1 acts on it like this. Now under influence of this force, this body has a tendency to move like this. It will move like this. Similarly, now if I apply this force F1 like this, in this direction, in upward direction. Now under influence of this force F1, but now F1 is acting in upward direction. This body has a tendency to move upwards. That means with same magnitude of force, this body M has different type of tendency of motion. For this force, it has a tendency to move in this direction, and for this kind of force, this body has a tendency to move upwards. That means with same magnitude, the body is showing different motion, and reason is the direction of force. In this case, force is acting in this direction, and in this case, force is acting in this direction. Therefore, it is very important for such quantities to express their magnitude as well as their direction. Such quantities which are expressed with magnitude as well as with direction are called vectors, whereas those quantities which can be expressed only with magnitude, they are called scalars. So this was all about basic introduction of scalars and vectors. Now, second thing that comes is the representation of a vector. How to represent a vector? So there are basically three ways to represent a vector. First one is graphical method. Second is rectangular form. And third is the polar form. Now, graphically, a vector is represented by an arrow. Graphically, a vector is represented by an arrow like this. The length of this arrow represents the magnitude. Length of arrow represents magnitude, and the angle which this vector or this arrow makes with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction represents the direction, where theta represents the direction. Now, regarding theta, it is important to note that theta is always measured with x-axis and it is taken as positive in anti-clockwise direction, right? In rectangular form, any vector A is represented in form of its components along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. It is represented as axi cap plus ayj cap plus azk cap. Now what are ax, ay and az? Ax, ay and az are component of any vector along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now here, if I want to find component along x-axis, it would be this line or this arrow will be component along x-axis. And if I want to find component along y-axis, it would be this line. This line will be component along y-axis, AY, and this will be AX. Similarly, if I draw z-axis, then component of this vector along z-axis will be AZ. In polar form, any vector is represented by its magnitude, mod A, and angle theta. For example, if say a vector has a magnitude 3 and angle say 40 degrees, where 40 degrees is what? 40 degrees is this angle, theta, which this vector makes with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, right? So these are the three modes of representation in which we represent a vector. After that, third topic that comes is algebra of vectors. Under algebra, we study three things. One is the addition. And then we will see about their multiplication. Now if we talk about addition of vectors, then we have to first see in which form vectors are given. If vectors are given in graphical method, form, then to add them we have to use graphical methods. And graphical method of vector additions are, say if I have a vector A like this is A vector. Similarly, I have a vector B which is like this. And if I want to add them, then the vector sum of these two vectors will be represented by, what we have to do is we have to complete a parallelogram. That means I have to draw a line parallel to this A vector like this, and then I have to draw a line parallel to this B vector. This is my complete parallelogram. Then the resultant vector of this A vector and B vector will be represented by the diagonal of this parallelogram. The diagonal of this parallelogram will represent the resultant vector like this. It will represent the resultant vector. Say here R vector is represented as A vector plus B vector, and this is my R vector, right? This is graphical method. Now if vectors are given in form of in polar form, then mod A and angle theta 1. Similarly, B vector is given as mod B angle theta 2, like this they are given. Then the resultant is given as, by a mathematical formula, under root of mod A square plus mod B square plus 2 times of mod A mod B cos of angle between these two, that will be theta 1 minus theta 2. This is the way, if they are given in polar form, then this is the way we add them. And the third method of addition is if these vectors are given in rectangular form. Say a vector A is given like this, AX I cap plus AY j cap plus AZ k cap, and a B vector is given as BX I cap plus BY j cap plus BZ k cap. Then in that case the sum of these two vectors will be given as AX plus BX I cap. Simply what we have to do, we have to add the x components, we have to add the y component, we have to simply add the z components like this, AY plus BY j cap plus AZ plus BZ k cap. This is how we add these vectors. So as a conclusion, whenever vectors are given in graphical form, then we have to use parallelogram law of vector addition. Whenever vectors are given in rectangular form, we have to do like this, and whenever vectors are given in polar form, we have to use the formula under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos of theta 1 minus theta 2, or in particularly why theta 1 minus theta 2, because we have to take the angle between a vector and b vector. So that's all about vector addition.